short video on this before I forget. So there's this little piece of statute here that says servants, etc., shall have such liberties as those who are called to Parliament. Well, when you're bringing a case to Parliament and doing petitioning, that's casework for Parliament, like any criminal or civil case to a court. So that is casework for Parliament. It's saying servants, etc. here. So I don't know whether that gives the Parliament staff or not. But the Lord Hanningfield case is a really interesting one, because the dispute is what does and doesn't fall under work of Parliament. But misdemeanours and offences, I put in another video, there's a different argument for misdemeanours not being work of Parliament when it's a misdemeanour. There's an actual basis on, no matter how you calculate it or work it out, some things need to be done in the line of duty, so to say. The police use that word, in the line of duty, but misdemeanours. So, for example, with Lord Hanningfield, with his fraud, it's not required to falsify what you're doing when you're doing it. So that is not required for the job. But for a police officer kicking a door down, for example, it says you can use reasonable force. So you're allowed to reason with it was required for what you need to do, but it's never required to do something illegitimately or dishonestly. For example, if you're not pursuing a criminal, and someone hasn't stole something, but yet you chase them and kick the door down, it's not in the line of duty, you know. I think the Jeremy Johnson paper was arguing, it's Parliament's remit to decide what falls under Parliament's work or not. But the thing is, it actually goes back further than Magna Carta. Lords and barons can only be judged by their equals. It goes back to the Charter of Liberties, where it says that barons can be prosecuted and fined for offences. Jeremy Johnson KC only raises up the 1688 Bill of Rights, illegal prosecutions by the King's Bench for matters decidable, debatable in Parliament, which is the casework for Parliament, which, a court can't change the tax on tampons, right? A court can't change the tax on tampons, so that they aren't there to decide those matters, and they're also not there to decide the matters of, if the police is pursuing a criminal in a criminal case. It's not for Parliament if it's a local case, although you can actually raise it up to Parliament. There are a lot of technical arguments in and around that, and I get them, I understand them, but the thing is, even if the privilege is meant to work when you understand it, whereby you can actually be prosecuted in the courts, but they don't actually suffer any consequences of it. And this is exemplified in the election petition rules, where they've still got to turn up and answer questions, and they can still be found to have done wrong, but they don't suffer the consequences, and so forth. So I don't think that Jeremy Johnson KC entirely got the matter correct 100% in his paper. But the reason I brought this little bit of law up to do with servants is that I did take a screenshot of it and I did save it, but I found a petition when I was looking through those transcribed petitions of Brodie Waddell, Dr. Brodie Waddell and his team, and put all those transcribed petitions up from the National Archives and other archives on their free website. I was looking through them. I've not actually spent that much time on there, but I did have a little go at searching for a few. And one that I found, and I did take a screenshot of it, so I have saved it somewhere, is that people were talking about privilege. There actually was one of the servants of a member of the House of Lords, a peer, who had been arrested by a sheriff, and he was claiming privilege, right, in this petition. So I know that people believe that they could have it and use it, right? Now, I don't know what the odds were of finding that particular petition, because I haven't really spent much time looking through those archives, and I really do need to spend time looking through those archives. Dr. Broder Waddle is far too busy to speak to me. Well, he did speak to me briefly in email, but they're always too busy, these university professors. It's almost like in Dr. No, when Bond goes around to see the professor about the geology, do you care to tell me a little bit about these samples, professor? And he's just like trying to get out of it or make excuses up. They got far too more important work than for us, we're actually doing important work, of actually investigations or things or petitions even. So, yeah, I mean, I actually found, basically, to cut a long story short on the point of this video, is that this piece of statute law here that I found is actually, I've got a petition from the National Archives where a person is claiming this very exact right and law here. So that's valid. It's true. He was claiming it, but I think the sheriff or the constable had still got him, prosecuting him, and he was complaining about it. I should pair that up with this, actually. I really need to pair that screenshot up of that petition, because I don't know if I'll find it again. I can't remember. I was just messing around with the search terms and looking for, I thought I'll have a little, because they've made like a search engine so you can search through them all. And that just turned up in the results, and that's one of the I could do with it. Would be a really good little bit of evidence to put this little image here with that petition in the research. That would be kind of useful. So I just thought I'd make this video to remind myself, or if I forget, just to kind of make a little record of the fact that they could do with pairing up together.